No Chance, a Postmodern Odyssey by Argent. It's no secret that I'm friends with Argent. If you look through our channels, we've done numerous videos collaborating with each other that I posted on both channels after we streamed it on his so that I could get more views on mine. Ooh. But to be blunt, Argent has inspired me to be more creative, both as a writer. You haven't seen some of the things I've written yet, but hopefully you will down the line, and as a video maker. That being said, I'm going to have a positive review, and you would expect me to kiss his ass, but I don't feel like I'm being honest if I'm just going to kiss his ass. There are some problems, but I would say that this book, overall, though, is very, very good. Argent is such an honest person, I couldn't imagine him wanting me to just kiss his ass so that I make a dumb video review of it, where it's just like, "You're the best, I love you, man!" To start off with, Argent has told me himself that he's not necessarily the best world builder, and in this book, world building takes a back seat, and what takes the front seat is what Argent has skills with, so it's a very good choice there, is character development and humor. The two prime focuses on this book are definitely those two. That being said, with character development, Argent is pretty damn good when it comes to dialogue. And a lot of the humorous stuff comes from the dialogue itself. I'm not a very good dialogue writer at all. I don't even know why you guys really watch these videos that I make. Because even when I'm talking, I think I'm shit at making up dialogue. Argent, on the other hand, he's pretty good at dialogue. You can tell that this book is like almost like Clerks. A lot of it is just this funny dialogue. With the humor, a lot of it's really absurdist. So for instance, one of the main characters is actually a talking pig. So the book's supposed to be really dark and show a really bleak view of the future, but Argent constantly turns this on its head by making the absurdity of the dystopia or the totalitarian society of the future California of tomorrow kind of just eat its own tail in these interesting and funny ways, where the elite, the cultural elite, just, get high off their own supply and destroy themselves is their great weakness. One of those most interesting things, or the funniest things to me, is how in front of every chapter he has a quote. And some of these quotes will be by Plato and Aristotle, and some of them will be from characters from Naruto. And this is just melodramatic self-seriousness of these quoting. It's just kind of Argent's humor. It's pretty funny because it's the parody of himself, to where he has Kurt Vonnegut, and then he has, Dark Souls 2 is two deeply moving quotes. One of the downsides, though, with the humor is a lot of it is culture-based. And like with Empty Hero, which is a book, Empty Heroes Europe 2, which I reviewed before, and which kind of is similar, because it's kind of this comedic, what the world will look like tomorrow, this dystopia, kind of from a right-wing guy, but I think Argent does a much better job, is that some of these things, and he said this itself, are going to become dated. There's a lot of jokes about hipsters. I don't see hipsters around that much anymore. I think that hipsters are starting to transform into soy boys outright, and they don't wear fedoras, and they don't wear suspenders and all that stupid shit. And there's a lot of humor that's making fun of hipsters, and hipsters are shit. So that's kind of becoming dated, and other things are going to become dated. And he said, as he said, you can't really parody the right, or not the right, the left that well, because they do just get crazier. You can't create something that you think is beyond, is too crazy for them to believe, because they will believe it. Overall, I don't think that a lot of the humor is, irrelevant, left field kind of humor, and it's not culture based. Just some of it is culture based, and it will be dated, but I don't think that will ruin the whole book. I think in 10 years from now, you can read the book and enjoy it just as much as you can today. Now let's get to the story. No Chance is about a man who goes on welfare, kills people, gets away with it, and then marries a non-white, he is white himself, and raises the child of another man with her. Anyway, let's get back to business. The main character that is the basic outline of the book. The main character is Jeremy Evans, and his best friend is Brian, who's a secondary character. Jeremy Evans has had a horrible life. His sister was raped. His mom died young. He has a master's in English and journalism, and he'll never use it. He works dead-end jobs, which are taxed out of the wahoo. He can never get a girlfriend, and he's an eternal virgin. So life just fucks him over, so he decides to get even. He goes on a killing spree, killing those who have wronged him in pretty funny ways, not before. He also tries to get laid, or after he tries to get laid, and he eventually loses his virginity in an unfortunate way. Brian, his best friend, is married to a sweet Lebanese girl, Jana, and she has a sister, which Jeremy eventually falls for, Maya. I will complain, I've read this book twice, and the second time it was hard for me to read Maya's dialogue when they're flirting with each other. It might just be I'm maybe slightly asexual, or it could be that Maya's too perfect or she's too masculine. She kind of doesn't have any downsides. She seems kind of, she's written too smart and too manly in parts. And, I mean, Argent, you can get mad at me for complaining about that. I mean, girls, there's a whole lot of different people. Some girls might talk like that, but whatever. She's still like a dream, right? Anyway, they eventually develop a company, but one man stands in the way. He's going to fix his life, and this man called David, who marries his previous high school sweetheart, gets in his way. David is an ultra hipster and scum all around. The characters in this, especially how Jeremy is written from a first person perspective. Jeremy is, he's your brother. He's somebody that you've met in real life. And he's not like, a creepy loser version or whatever. He's been fucked over and over and over. And anyone that's a male in my generation is Jeremy. Really, just working in the unpaid internships, all the women that he could get are garbage. You're Jeremy, and you sympathize with him. And as I say on the back, while No Chance is an hilarious parody of our day-to-day drudge, what makes it unique is its heart. Argent provides living, breathing characters who are genuinely developed, something sorely lacking in modern genre fiction. While there is a great deal of deep political, social, and religious commentary, the characters are front and center, so it matters all the more when Jeremy pulls through, even after the nightmares of the world devour him. You can see a little bit of yourself in him, and perhaps hope that your dead-end life will get a happy-ish ending too. So here's the physical copy of Argent's No Chance. It's an Amazon print-on-demand book. As far as the formatting goes, it has really small text here. That's not a problem, but maybe for some older viewers of Argent or older readers of this book, it could possibly be a problem. But of course, they could just get a higher yield glasses. One kind of glaring error and mistake in it is that every single chapter has chapter 1 above it. He must have not formatted this right, so the whole book has chapter 1 at the top. The title here is pretty good. I like the loneliness, the gray colors, the white. Everything is going pretty well here. As far as like a lot of other print-on-demand books by comparison, let's pull out Empty Heroes, Europe 2, Brock's Apocalypse. It's pretty bad clip art here. The back doesn't look that good. Argent's back matches the front. And look, it has a quote from me, my pen name there, Seamus Darenock. Lovely of Argent to have my quote to sell his book. Overall, the presentation, especially for a made-to-be-printed, print-on-demand book, is very, very high. Other than the glaring mistake here with the chapter 1,
I would give this, I don't know, 4 out of 5 stars, 4.5 out of 5 stars. This is a pretty good print-on-demand paperback.